radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, how you doing? Let's do this. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and the NX Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? All right. Excited to be back. Tonight, kicking off, this is now officially Halloween. Tonight, very special guest, Tony Rathman of Entity Voices is with us for Halloween Night 1. We're going to do this all the way to the X 1-year anniversary show on Halloween night, which is Monday, October 31st. Tomorrow night, Mike Ricksecker is here for Halloween Night 2. Thursday night is another Fader night with open lines all night long. And there you go. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy's wearing glasses. Man, I wore my eyeballs out in Egypt. I'm serious. I just wore them out. And it's just really funny. And I have perfect vision, like past 3 feet. 2 feet, not so good. And these screens are right in front of me. So tonight I was just like, man, no, I'm not going to play around with this. Not going to play around. I have glasses all over the place. I use them during the day, and and I always fight it, for the show. And here we are, 1,700 shows or thereabouts. Officially, this is show number 1,700 tonight. Welcome, everybody. We made it. I don't know how we got here. 1,700. Man, that's a big number. That's a real big number. So there you go. We it's just going to be a great month, and I'll talk in a little bit about some other stuff. But let me get caught up here because last night I was at the James Fox movie premiere of Moment of Contact, the world premiere. Excuse me. Allergies, too, by the way. So I get back from Egypt. Everything's fine. Allergies. It just hasn't stopped. So there you go. I feel better today. I was saying that yesterday. Like I'm over it. But nah, it's still lingering. So anyway, last night, James Fox, and I'll talk about that more in just a minute. But last night, everybody was there. It was a real who's who. But Q was there from the Conscious Life Expo. Serena was there. Christina was there from the Conscious Life Expo. And it was great seeing everybody. And it just, again, it's coming up, the Conscious Life Expo, February 10th through the 13th at the LAX Hilton. And it was so great seeing Q. I haven't seen Q since the Conscious Life Expo, February of this year. So here we go. And tickets and info for that are at consciouslifeexpo.com. The links for that are below. And then right after that, this is another special announcement. It's all official now because on Saturday, April 1st, 2023, I will be hosting the Parapod Festival at the Hyatt Regency in Valencia, California, right here in Southern California. This is a live one-day awards special event for podcast, film, media, TV. It's going to be a huge event, and you could submit your podcast, your film, documentary, TV series right now. If you go to parapodfilmfest.com, the links for that are also below, and tickets are available. This is a one-day, one-night only event. And it's an honor for me to be hosting this. So information is there below. And if you have a podcast, you've made a documentary, you've got a TV series, whatever the media is, you can submit. And right now the submissions are free. So just go and do it. Oh, wow. Sorry, Race. Race just let me know that I wasn't broadcasting live. We're live here. I did see. That's the thing. That's the thing with coming back after 2 weeks off. I forgot to hit a go live button. And hold on. Watch this. I'm going to do this live on the air. We should be good, Race. There you go. All right. And then next up, after that, April 7th through the 14th, a week later, I'll be hosting and presenting on the Hidden Secrets Seminar at Sea Cruise. And the links for that are below. I've got a very busy 2023 coming up. I've got an event scheduled every single month. We've got a huge award ceremony that's going to be going on in Miami. And I will be hitting you with that. And also a couple more trips to Egypt. So after everything that I'm going to be talking about until then, you're going to want to go to Egypt with us next year. So we've got 2 Egypt trips scheduled as well. All right. Now, Race, I apologize for that. I was just asleep at the wheel, my brother. Race Hobbs. Tonight, we have Tony Rathman on the show. He's got his show, Entity Voices, over on the X. And we're kicking off Halloween from now all the way through the anniversary show for the X, which will be Halloween evening, which is Monday, October 31st. All right. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. The Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. Normally, it's live right in front of me. And right now, it is now. Now it's there. Now it's there. Okay. All right. Hashtag F2B on Twitter and hashtag F2BQ is any questions that you have for the show tonight. All right. Let's get to the breaking news. The rocket that will conduct the first ever orbital mission from the United Kingdom, right? From the United Kingdom, has been delivered to its spaceport. Virgin Orbit's Launcher 1 vehicle came into New Quay, Cornwall, late on Friday on a military plane from California, where it was made. The rocket will now be prepared for its flight to space, which is likely to occur sometime next month. 9 individual satellites, mostly built in the United Kingdom, will take the ride a few hundred kilometers above the Earth. That's incredible. From British soil for the first time. Now, check this out. An engineer working at Elon Musk SpaceX was put into a coma after suffering a head injury while testing a rocket part, according to people familiar with the matter. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration said in an accident investigation summary that a SpaceX integration technician was performing checks on a Raptor 2 V2 engine on January 18th, 2022, when he suffered a skull fracture and head trauma and was hospitalized in a coma for months. I'm not releasing his name. I have it, but I kind of feel like his name was leaked. And, this is private information. So till something official comes from the family, let's just say our thoughts are with him and everything that is going on. It's incredible. This was announced this morning, or actually yesterday and officially today. Parler has entered an agreement in principle, let's put that in quotes, to be purchased by Ye, the rapper, the producer, and fashion designer, formerly known as Kanye West. Oh, so it's Ye, not Ye? Is it Ye? Is it Ye? Kanye? Right? So I guess Ye is buying Parler. The announcement this morning from the social media platform's parent company called Parliament Technologies. And they also said that a definitive deal is expected to close by the end of the year. Now, another pro-Putin MP has mysteriously died. Dubbed Russia's gas wonder kid, is the latest senior energy industry executive to die since the start of the war in the Ukraine. Multimillionaire Nikolai Petrunin, he's 47 years old, entered politics after a career building gas pipelines in Siberia. His death comes after at least 9 oligarchs were feared murdered after dying in suspicious circumstances this year. Don't be a friend of Vlad. NASA has targeted November 14th for a third attempt to launch its big next generation rocket ship, the U.S. Space Agency said on Wednesday, after weeks of technical setbacks and foul weather delayed the uncrewed inaugural Artemis mission to the moon. Plans call for rolling the 32-story tall Space Launch System, otherwise known as the SLS, and a rocket and its Orion capsule back out to Launch Pad 39B at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, as early as Friday, November 4th, to renew final flight preparations. Man, I want to see this thing take off. Whew. All right, here we go. Let's get the show cracking on this day in history. 1916. Private Harry Farr of the British Expeditionary Force is executed for cowardice after he refused to go forward into the frontline trenches on the Western Front during World War I. Fact or fact? In ancient Egypt, the word for cat was meow. And that is your fact or fact. You didn't know that, did you? I did. It was actually a fact or fact, like in show number 800, like 5 years ago. I think. Anyway, how you doing? Tonight, very special guest, Tony Rathman, right here, host on the X, and of course the host, along with his wife Cherie, of Entity Voices. He's with us for Halloween night 1. Tomorrow night, Mike Ricksecker is back with us for Halloween night 2. Thursday is another Fader night with open lines all night long. All right. Now, it's time for me to hit this River Moon coffee. rivermoonwellness.com. Yeah, I like my coffee, Doc. Go Beckley Tappy. I'm telling you, best coffee in the world. Promo code F2B Blend if you go to the website, rivermoonwellness.com. And if you visit the Amazon store, you're a Prime member, you get free shipping. So there you go. You know what happened? The other day on my phone, I got a suggestion from Amazon in a text. You know, it happens, once in a while, trying to sell me another pair of Adidas tennis shoes or something. Right there. Check out River Moon Coffee Fade to Black Blend. I was like, what? Took a screenshot. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool feeling. All right. Show number 1700. I don't know how we did it, but we did. We're here. Show number 1700. And today is the 18th. It's October 18th. 8 days ago, I turned 59 years old. 59. And here's the trippy thing. What's next? That's right. 60. I'm not quite prepared for that. So I'm enjoying 59 while it still lasts. Never thought that 50s would sound young to me. 60 is scaring the crap out of me. But anyway, so I'm 59. My head, my mind is the same as when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. I feel the same. I act the same. My vision of somebody that was 59 when I was 21, I ain't that guy. I am simply not that guy. My head, I am who I am. It's not that I haven't grown up. I've just stayed the same. I haven't changed. And I'd like to think I'm a little smarter and all that stuff, but 59, right? And so let's analyze this for a second. Because in the last 2 weeks, this is what just in the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, I went to Egypt, walked all over that entire country. I flew back to the United States. Next day, I did a show here. And then I built an RC truck track in my backyard with Brad and his son Jonah. Raced trucks all day. The next day, I haven't even talked about this. The next day, we went to Edwards Air Force Base for the air show that was out there, which was absolutely incredible. Did that all day, walked as if I hadn't walked enough this month. That air show was ginormous. The base itself is huge. We're out there in the sun. It was beautiful. It was an awesome day. But walking and did that. Come back from that. The next day, which was yesterday, I go to the movie premiere with James Fox. 2-hour drive to Hollywood, 2-hour drive back, watch the movie. I have not rested. And then today I'm doing Fade to Black. Tomorrow, Fade to Black. Thursday, Fade to Black. This weekend, I'm doing 3 days of taping for the final 4 episodes of my new TV series. The announcement for that will be coming next week. And I haven't stopped. Now, I don't know if this is how a 59-year-old old dude is supposed to act, but I don't feel it. I don't know where this 59-year-old thing is supposed to show itself. I'm okay, except for the glasses today, right? So now here's the deal. Let's back up. So we're in Egypt, and now I'm going to share a couple of things with you. the first day, not the first day, the first part of the tour, I should say, was at the Bent Pyramid in Saqqara. And I'm good, man. I'm fresh. Jet lag, not a part of my game. I've never been affected by it. And I'm fresh, man. I'm cool. I'm ready. And we show up it's in Saqqara, in the middle of the desert. We pull up, and I look at this pyramid, and I've studied it. I know what's inside of it. I know what I'm prepared for. But I wasn't quite ready for the size. And it's almost as big as the Great Pyramid. It's that big. It's just ginormous. But I'm fresh. I'm cool. I'm good. And so was everybody else. We all jump off the buses and we're all excited and we're shooting video. And I walk over with Billy and Elizabeth, and we're leading everybody's behind us. And here we go. We go up, and there's stairs in front. We go up the stairs. I got this on videotape. And videotape. I've got it on video. Us entering the pyramid. And we get up to the top. Like I said, I'm fresh, man. I'm good. Let's do this. And we enter, and Billy, then I see what's really going on. And the tunnel is this big. Okay. It's like 2 feet by 2 feet. It might be 3 feet square. Okay, so it's not. And I'm like, and Billy, and now this descends, and I don't know how many, 100, 200, 300 feet down, like this 45-degree angle, and I'm watching Billy disappear, and you have to do it backwards. You're not going head first. You've got to go backwards on all fours. And I watch Billy spin around, and he's descending. There goes Elizabeth. She's in front of me. And I'm like, oh, man. Okay. So I do what they're doing, and I'm running down backwards. My 59-year-old ass, right? Thinking that it's nothing. We go. I don't know how many minutes, 10, 15 minutes descending in this tunnel. My hands are right here. Back is hitting the top of the tunnel. And we get to the bottom, and here's the deal. So everybody comes in, and we're in this big room that's deep underground, man, deep. And you're just thinking about what's above you. My 59-year-old ass. And we get everybody in the room. And now we're in there for about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. And the last people come in, and we're, doing our thing and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. So I'm first out. I'm first in, I'm first out. And I go down the ladder, and I look up, and I cannot see the top of the tunnel. The sunlight. It's straight. I don't see it. I'm like, oh man, here we go. And now I'm crawling up what I just went down. Going down is one thing. Going up is a whole nother matter. And I get to the top, and it was very spiritual, the whole thing. It's so physical, and you're going through it's a spiritual experience. So anyway, I make it. I'm like 20 yards from the top, and I stopped, and I was like, okay, this is where it ends. This is it. This is how I go out. Anyway, I continue. And I come out of the top, and I put my body through the most extreme thing that I've done at any point in my entire life. And I've done crazy stuff. I've done strenuous stuff. I've ran, I've mountain biked, I've downhilled, I've cliff dived, I've hiked, I've done nothing like this. Seriously, the most intense thing I've ever done in my life. And I did it at the age of 59. And I go out and I'm by myself. It's just me and our security people. And I sit down on this bench, doing everything I can to get oxygen in me and come through this. But it was an awakening. And I went down the stairs and I sat on this rock next to the bent pyramid, and I'm looking out across the desert. It's just a once in a lifetime experience is starting here. And I'm looking out across the desert, and in front of me, about a mile away, is the Red Pyramid. And I'm looking at it. I'm sitting on this rock. I'm thinking about this spiritual experience that I just went through in the bent pyramid. And I can't put it into words. And I'm sitting on a rock that has been sitting here for at least 5,000 years. 5,000 years. And I'm looking across this undisturbed desert. It's just sand dunes in front of me with the bent pyramid, or the Red Pyramid in front of me. And it was just me and my thoughts. And that's how I spent my 59th birthday, was one spiritual experience after another. Physically, I tested myself, and we continued to do that every single day. Coming back, I was walking through the airport, and I put my body, we all did, I wasn't the only one, through intense stress. And when I got back, now here we are, today is the 18th. Today and yesterday were the first days where I felt at one, that I was physically okay. It's like running a marathon every single day for a week. We did that many steps, that much walking, and these temples are huge, and everything was just spiritual. And today, here I am with our 1700th show, and I'm spending it with you, and I am so thankful for my life, for my friends, for my family, for everything. And it's just been an insane 2 weeks. I don't know how life gets any better. And I wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you for being here. And we're going to have a great show tonight. Tony Rathman is with us. And like I said, we're going to do Halloween for the rest of the month, all the way through to the X 1-year anniversary on Halloween night, which will be Monday, October 31st. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back after this short break with our guest, Tony Rathman. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPureDeals.com.
Do you have an interest in the paranormal? Then you'll love the UnXNetwork.com. The X is your streaming audio and video for everything supernatural, strange, and mysterious, like UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, and so much more. From hosts like Jimmy Church, Whitley Strieber, Micah Hanks, and Christina Gomez. Visit the UnXNetwork.com show page for a complete list of all the paranormal programs you'll find on the X. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates at KUNXDB. Follow our Facebook group, UnX Network. Find the podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Audible, and Apple Podcast. It's time.
It's new.
It's the X.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Manson. You're listening to Jimmy Church
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black, I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, episode number 1,700. And our guest is Tony Rathman. It's night 1 of 2 weeks of Halloween. That's right, Ghost Hunter. Tony Rathman of EVPI, Entity Voices Paranormal Investigations, joins us tonight. EVPI is a paranormal team located in Phoenix, Arizona, and has spent the last decade discovering the truths about spirits, about entities, and life after death. Their specialty lies in spirit communication through both EVPs and ITC communication. We'll find out exactly what that is, and have captured some amazing entity voices through the years of investigation and research through multiple forms of digital recorders, parabolic mics, and multi-track recorders, as well as building and refining spirit boxes. I have a lot of gear. I have nothing compared to what Tony Rathman has in his article, in his arsenal. And I would like to welcome back Tony Rathman. Tony, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. Thanks for having me. You know, it's Halloween, or coming up on Halloween. It's October. Being a paranormal investigator, there's not a better time in the world.
Yeah, man. And it's 1,700 shows in the can, and you're my guest on this very special night. It's an honor and a privilege, my man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Is Halloween, Tony, is Halloween the best holiday of the year?
I guess it depends on what your interests are, but for
Don't
me,
be political.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a cool. When I was a kid, and I'm just curious if you were the same way. Christmas was great. Love Thanksgiving, right? 4th of July. Yeah, it's all cool. Easter's got its thing, right? Halloween, man. Halloween just rocks. And for me, it's always been that way. Has it been that way for you?
Absolutely. I mean, you as a kid, you get to dress up. You can be any kind of character you want. It's your day and your night to be somebody that you're not, something you think about, something that you want to be. And kids love that. Kids love getting to take on a role that they're not normally involved in, and for at least one day get to experience kind of what that would be like.
Did you do the same thing? I'm sure it must have been the same in every city and town in America. Did you guys, hey man, over on Cedar Street, they got the good candy, right? Just right
Absolutely.
You
but of
did
course, you were running around in late 70s, early 80s masks that would absolutely keep you from breathing. You couldn't turn your head without it twisted on you. The costumes are much better today. They look better. They wear better, but absolutely everybody on the street knew the house is giving away the good stuff. And there were times we would switch costumes and go back a second time to get more of it.
Okay. I'm just curious. What was your favorite candy? I'll disclose mine, but what was yours?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I'm not planting a flag on that one. And what was your least favorite?
Candy corn.
Yep. There you go. Okay. Yeah. You and I are cut from the same cloth. I was not a big fan, though, of Milky Way. Nah. I would find some sucker that loved Milky Way, and I'd trade. Yeah. Candy corn today tastes better to me. But when I was a kid, no, man, no. I'm okay with it now, but it's really funny. It's pure sugar, right? It's the fakiest fake thing, but I don't know why, man. It's not so bad today. It's so
the taste grows on you.
Now, here's another weird thing for me. And Halloween, you would see the devil costumes, right? Witches, ghost, and then there's always Disney characters, even back in the 70s. And then you have this like innocent side of it. And then we have the traditional stuff, right? The jack-o'-lanterns and the harvest moon, that side of it. Why did it take this, the devil, with that twist where it started to get an image that I don't think was there originally?
I think a lot of it has to do with Hollywood, with the types of horror films that got released starting probably late 80s, early 90s. That whole genre, that devil, the demon, the whole terminology that went along with that got portrayed in half the horror movies, television shows. And so people picked up on that. And, Halloween turned to that more sinister, devilish type of costume. And, horror fanatics love that kind of thing. And so those costumes, that's what they wore. And it still happens today.
Somebody just said, what about pixie sticks? I forgot about pixie sticks.
Oh, those were good.
Man, those were real good.
Especially when you got the one that was like 2 feet long.
Yeah,
that was ultimate score.
Let's go.
Right.
You get all wet on the end and get clogged up. You'd have to chew a piece. Yeah, bite it off. Yeah, I miss. Do they still make those?
They do. They're hard to find, but they do still make them. I've seen them out there.
Yeah, pixie sticks. We could do a whole show on Halloween candy, and I noticed this trend over the last. I'm going to go 5 to 7 years. Lots of alien costumes. Have you noticed? Little ET. Lots of alien costumes. I don't ever remember growing up seeing an ET alien costume anywhere, and now it's pretty trendy.
You're absolutely right, but it follows the same genre. I mean, people who thoroughly believe that UFOs exist, extraterrestrials exist, society start, in the last 15 years, there was more and more information that was being released. Then you had the government releasing stuff saying, hey, we have video of unidentified objects. We don't know what this is, and admitting to it, even though that anybody researching it knew that was the case years prior to them doing that. But it changes that level of acceptance. And so people would see those costumes out and be like, oh, that's great. I'm going to be an alien, and people didn't wrinkle up their nose or give strange looks at it, because it's accepted. Just the same thing as far as ghosts and spirits. People have seen evidence of it. They know they exist.
I'm going to do one more candy reference. Somebody just said bit of honey. I haven't thought about that in 40 years. I love bit of. I lost like 8 teeth to bit of honey.
They were great until they got hard.
Yeah,
when you unwrapped them and you could literally snap it in half and there was no twisting or softness to it, it lost its appeal, but they were good.
They were real good. And they were bars, and they had that wrapper in between the bars. Pop, 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 pop. Man, I love bit of honey. I know they don't make those anymore. There's no way. Bit of honey.
I haven't seen them in years, so I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, enough of man. You guys, you got to stop. Let's switch. It's the chat room. All they do is smoke weed. That's all. That's what this chat room does. And so we're supposed to be talking about ghosts. It's Halloween, Tony. Start talking about candy, and that's it. That's it. We are going to be. Oh, bit of honey still made, according to one of these potheads in the chat room. Okay. Now, at what point for you did the desire to go and chase ghost voices, was this something that started very young? And what happened?
Well, it was my wife that made it happen. She normally, on Valentine's Day, and this happened Valentine's Day 2010. The ghost shows were out. She loved watching them. She'd always say to me, you got to watch this with me. This is so cool. Well, I'd sit there for about 3 minutes, and then I'd look at her and I'd say, you realize this is entertainment. This is television. None of this exists. That was my thought process. Now, growing up, my father was a physicist, chemistry, and physical science instructor. So whenever I asked questions as a kid, I got scientific answers. Why is the sky blue? Oh, because the sunlight shines through the water droplets. So ghosts and stuff didn't really come up in those explanations. But it was Valentine's Day. She said, I want to go ghost hunting. I had 2 choices, take her or have her mad at me till next Valentine's Day. So she had me trapped. I said, okay. We went. She had fun. That was all I cared about. It wasn't until we got back that she started reviewing the pictures, the video, the recordings, and she had stuff on there. She had voices I couldn't explain, things in the pictures I could not explain. This was our first time ever doing it on our own. And trust me, we made a ton of mistakes, but that's how you learn. But for months, I tried to come up with reasonable, rational explanations why this was occurring, where these voices were coming from. And I couldn't do it. And it really started to annoy me because I thought this should be simple to figure out. So I said to her, let's go back. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can figure out, hey, there was a shadow casting from the light, or, we were picking up noise from somebody in one of the other rooms. Well, I couldn't explain any of it. And we had more evidence from that time and the time after and the time after. And it just began to grow. And the thrill of having a voice come out of nowhere that was both intelligent and would give a response that was relevant to both timing and frequency, meaning it came right after the question I asked, and the answer given was relevant to the question I asked. That blew my mind. So we just kept doing it. And then we expanded throughout all of Arizona. And then we went on to Nevada, California, and then across the entire country. And then we started going outside of the country. We've been in the Philippines. We've investigated in Japan. And the evidence just kept coming. That's how I got hooked.
And what about the electronics side of this? Do you have an engineering background? Just for everybody, so you understand. When I first met Tony and Cherie, I got to see the gear, and I was blown. I'm a gearhead, obviously, right? I love electronics, right? I think I have a grip on things. And apparently I don't, because I went up and I saw everything that you guys brought for the ghost hunt that we were doing together. And you had everything under the sun. And then you started to explain and tell me that a lot of this you design and build yourself. And we'll get to that. But do you have an engineering, a double E or something?
No, I worked in an electronics shop when I was a teenager going through high school. And I would help repair TVs and broken radios. And, it was kind of minor stuff, but it was enough information from that to allow me to pull apart a spirit box like an SB7 or an SB11, see what was inside, know the circuitry and the mechanics that were operating it. And then it was basically a learning lesson after that to figure out, what did I want to modify? How did I want to try to improve it? And then, of course, talking to friends as well that would build spirit boxes and saying, okay, how does this function? What do I need to do? So it was a learning experience. But yeah, then I was able to start creating my own stuff, and stuff that took away some of the concerns that I had with stuff that you could just go out and purchase.
Now, not everything is caught by a spirit box. Some things are just live in the room. I mean, these voices that. Okay. Let's go ahead and tell the story with you and I. We're on the Queen Mary, and we were in a stateroom, a suite below decks. The Winston Churchill suite,
yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So we had about 10 people in this room. I'm guessing, but it was around 10 people.
Yep.
And I think Susan was with us. And of course, you and your wife. We had a camera crew. We had a sound crew. We had, I think, 3 cameras. And Tony is facing me. So he's sitting across from me. And to my right, to Tony's left, are 3 cameramen and the sound guy with the boom mic, right? Okay, so they're over here, and we've got the stateroom is totally quiet. Everybody else is to my left. So Tony and I are sitting at the end, is what I'm saying. Okay, we're sitting at the end with the camera crew to our right, Tony's left. Dead silent when this voice just happened, and I heard it. I thought it came from above me to my right, and it was a female voice, and that went, just like that. And I jump, and I turn around and I look at Tony. Tony's looking at me, and we're both like, and I turned to the sound guy. I said, "Was that you?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "No, it wasn't him." And you reacted over your shoulder But what did you hear, and where did you think it was coming from? Because I heard it from above me over here, but you turned around and looked in the opposite direction over your shoulder. What
Right.
did you hear?
Well, I heard the exact same female, but I thought it came from behind me. Where you were looking out across the room, I was looking behind my shoulder, because that to me is where it sounded like it came from. But
And that was a wall behind you, by the way. You were against the wall.
Correct. Yeah, I was on the edge of the sofa that was in there, but there wasn't much room for something to be behind me. But that was the coolest thing about that experience, is because that's what's considered a direct voice response, meaning we didn't hear that through any type of spirit box. We didn't catch that on a recorder and hear it after. We heard that with our own ears. And like you said, all the cameramen that were over there were all men and have much deeper voices than this female voice that came out of nowhere. And that's why we struggled to figure out which direction it came from, because when that happens, it's all encompassing. It fills the whole room, and direction is really hard to pinpoint.
It's really hard. It blew my mind, and it was loud. That was not. You know what though? I've thought about this a lot. It was a British. It had an accent.
It did.
I don't know why. I picture like it was. It felt like a British. I know it sounds funny, but that's what it reminded me of.
Well, I'll agree with that. And what you just said, let me comment on that, because that's one of the reasons, after 13 years, well, coming up on 13 years of doing this, is why we decided to focus on communication, because the amount of information that we can acquire from an EVP or a spirit box, I can tell if it's male or female. I can tell if it's a child. I can tell if there's an accent, like you just said. I can tell if they're speaking a different language. I can tell their emotional state. Are they happy? Are they upset? Are they angry? All of that information I can discern before even hearing what was said. And that to me is irreplaceable from any other piece of equipment.
It changed me profoundly. In that we all watch ghost hunting shows. I love them. I love those paranormal ghost hunting shows. And but that night when I was walking, you and I was alone. You caught up to me, but we had this big empty parking lot. If you remember, it was huge.
I do.
And I was walking to my car, going, I heard a voice. You know, I was so happy. I mean, I couldn't believe what had happened. And you walked up to me and said, thank you. I was like, dude, I threw you the biggest bro hug.
Yeah. But it was one of those experiences that when you're not expecting it and it comes out of nowhere like that. And I think that was probably one of your first real true experiences where this voice just appeared and you could hear it with your own ears. That doesn't happen often. And for that to occur was fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing. Which is my next question. When you say it doesn't happen that often, how rare is it to have, there's a term for it.
Well, the calculation on a scale from 1 to 100 of how often, or percentage how often that happens, I'd say it's probably 5% at best. At best.
What do you think is the projector? Okay, in that we've got vocal cords, right? So this is physical, but that sound was generated by something,
right,
to move the air. How is it generated?
Well, that's a good question. And do we know for sure that answer? I'm going to tell you right now, we don't. But I can tell you that it does not follow physics. It is not a typical sound wave that is vibrating through the air. And the reason I know that is because we can put out 3 recorders a foot from each other, have them all running at the same time, and get an EVP on only one of the recorders. If that was a true sound wave, all 3 of those recorders would have captured that. which means it's not using a sound wave to transmit to the recorders. Now, the fact that we heard this one with our own ears changes that, though, because our ears operate on sound waves traveling through the air and pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
So that case is a little bit different because it's not just captured on the recorder. We heard that with our own ears, and so did other people. So there then has to be some molecular change in the sound wave to create that physical presence of the sound for us to hear it with our ears. And that can only be done by some type of energy transfer. And that would be my best case scenario answer.
Yeah. I mean, you have that the follicles in your ear, they pick up the vibration. The molecules in the atmosphere are vibrating. The sound wave comes through, vibrates, and that's transmitted with the nerves into our brain, and we hear something. Well, something has got, for us to hear it, something is moving the air.
Right.
And it's something there's got to be a source of, where it's generated from. It was an incredible experience for me to go through, to hear it and to react and to look. And oh man. Yeah, totally special. Totally special. Well, let's take a break. Now we have tonight, everybody, we've got a very special presentation. I've got a bunch of EVPs that Tony has sent. I've got a bunch of video files. I don't know how many we have here, but it is a lot. We've got a lot of video, and we're going to be going through all of that tonight. It is night one of our Halloween month. Our guest is Tony Rathman, and he's a host of Entity Voices over on the X with me. What night of the week do you broadcast?
Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, every Monday. And we focus on both well-known and up-and-coming paranormal investigators and show some fantastic evidence captures. And we discuss and review every aspect of it.
Every Monday night? You open up for Fade to Black. That's what I'm talking about. Let's take our break right here. Tony Rathman is our guest. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPureDeals.com.
This is Billy Carson, founder and CEO of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv is the fastest growing and one of the most watched networks in the world. And I would like to personally invite you to check out our expanding library of TV, film, lectures, and special presentations. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv has over 6,000 videos covering lost history, health, UFOs, spirituality, and our future. We are committed to our community, and with my personal invitation, you can, right now, get your own free 30-day membership at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Your own library of information starts today at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers, and you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Tony Rathman, Entity Voices, Paranormal Investigations. And Tony, I just got back from Egypt. Have you been to Egypt? Just yes or no?
No.
Dude, you take your gear over there, that's going to be a whole nother... Oh, I can only imagine what you would capture in some of those temples. I mean, it's just everywhere. So anyway, we won't talk about it. I won't shut up if we get started on Egypt. But I was just thinking about that. A paranormal investigation at Dendera. Holy crap, man. The Serapeum. Oh, my. There's no telling. 5,000 years of things still looking for home, right? Just wandering the sands.
Exactly. Yeah, the history, the energy that's there. I mean, it would be off the charts.
It was just one experience after another there. Okay, so we've got a ton of stuff to go through. And you do this to me every time. Let's just send Jimmy everything. We've got a lot of files to go through tonight, and I don't know where you want to start. If you want to start with audio, if you want to fire up some of this video,
I think I sent you all video, but start with the EVPs because the DRV or direct radio voice will need just a slight introduction as to exactly what that is and how it functions.
Wait a minute. No, hold on a minute. Now, stop. All of this is video? I've got video on 2 screens? Wait. I thought these were EVPs.
They are, but they're in video format.
Oh, no. How? Okay. All right. Well, okay. Okay. Tony, stop. Don't confuse me. This is live radio. Don't throw me off my game. I think I've got audio over here and video over here. Okay, so let's just go with that. Just go with me. All right. Because once I hit play on one of these, okay, let me see something here. Let me make sure this is muted. If this plays as a video file, oh, it is video. Okay. Okay. And also, okay, we're going to start over here on this screen because these are ready to go. I'm just going to let everybody know that Tony was right. Okay, Tony was right. And I'll figure it out. Okay, so let's go with DRV, Ron, Tony, and Bocce. Is that what that says?
Hold on. If we're going to start with the DRV, let me just give a real quick explanation.
Sure.
You've seen the Evox. You've heard the Evox 2.0 where we made spirit boxes that didn't have the white noise, were completely silent unless they spoke. DRV is based off of Marcello Bocce's work, where beginning in the 60s, he would use a world band radio, tune it to either a short wave or a long wave frequency with absolutely no radio transmission whatsoever, just white noise. Then he would ask questions and he would get answers. Now they tested him, they pulled the vacuum tubes, they put him in a Faraday cage, he continued to get voices. So this was fascinating. And I have to give credit to Ron Iacovetti, who taught me this. He's also on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. He's one of my team members. But he showed me how to do this, how it works, and what we've been getting is just incredible. And it doesn't scan radio. So no one can say, oh, you're picking up a radio station. No, nobody's transmitting radio broadcasts on 14,400 shortwave frequencies. It's just, there's nothing there. So what happens is you take that white noise, which white noise is basically all audio frequencies combined, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. They're all there.
20 to 20K.
20, right. And they're all there at a constant. So what this does, it's not a device, it's a method of taking that white noise and separating the different frequencies within it. And when you separate it, voices appear, and it is phenomenal. And if you ask a question, you get answers, and that's what you're about to play. But before you play the one that says Ron, play the one that says Bocce first, because Ron's is a connection to that one.
Okay, so we'll do that one. Let me make sure I've got it lined up. It's this one here. I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to just check the volume, but let's see what we got.
Spirits, can you please try to communicate with us through this device? Who's watching?
Bocce.
That was clear. Do you want us to do the rumbling?
Bocce, are you keeping track of what we're doing?
Marcello, can you see us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Marcello, you started this method. It's working. Can you please try to communicate with us?
Holy crap. Whoa. Okay. Wow. That was a conversation.
Well, that was when we went out to the New York area, New Jersey area, and did a 4-mansion tour with Ron. Ron's been doing this for a couple of years now. And I brought my spirit boxes and I got great responses, but it's always a word or two, maybe 3 if you're lucky. He was getting full sentences, clear, totally audible, and lengthy. So I said, you have to show me how to do this. Well, what I sent for you tonight under direct radio voice is the first maybe 3 months of stuff that came through. But that one that you played, he said bocce. Now, could bocce actually have tuned in knowing he was doing this from the 60s to the late 80s? And, you know, his voice, he said bocce, very clear. But then Sheree said, you know, this is your method. Will you communicate? And then this voice comes out of nowhere in English. I'd say glad to meet you. And
I'll say glad to meet you. Wow, man, that's really cool. I would do that all day long. I wouldn't get any work done. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. And kudos to Bocce to understand Cherie and her accent, right?
Right. Well, and he spoke in English.
Yeah,
I mean, his native language here was not English, but that shows you the power. If that was truly him. Now, granted, I'm making the assumption that it was, but he spoke perfect English, so they've got the ability to speak any language. Then apparently,
Cherie's fearless, isn't she?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, she how do I say this? I'm going to be polite. She looks like everybody's friend. She's just, you know, she's cute. She's darling. She's nice. Fearless, man. Fearless. Just absolutely fearless. Is she the first one at a ghost hunt? Is she walking in first? Let's go.
Yeah. In almost 13 years of doing this, the only place I've seen her truly frightened was the Diplomat Hotel in Baguio City, Philippines. And that place was just crazy intense.
Yeah.
But other than that, never seen her even shudder.
All right. So now you want to go ahead and do this, the other one, Tony and Bocce?
Yeah, they're the one that says Ron something Tonian. But let me just tell you the backup. So I captured that 2 or 3 days before Ron captured what you're about to play. And I had just started getting responses via direct radio voice. It took a little time to learn how it works, get it working. So him and I were having a conversation about how these voices were coming in, how they were being able to be picked up by the software, and where they were coming from. Well, we had about an hour and a half conversation. 2 or 3 days later, my friend Ron recorded what you're about to play. And after this happened, my voices that I was getting escalated, but I'll let you play it and then we can talk about it.
Okay, here we go. Oh, let me back it up. There we go. Okay. Let me just pause that. That is crystal friggin' clear.
Right. That's what's so amazing about this method. And full sentences.
Wow, man. Okay, let's continue.
Tony's my friend.
Stop, man. Stop. That's insane.
And we're on opposite sides of the country. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. He's in New Jersey.
Right.
So that tells you that the whole time, distance, space, none of that exists for spirits. They literally communicated with me and right to him 3,000 miles away.
Wow. Okay, let's keep this going.
I would agree. Can you say into these voices?
Whoa. Okay, let me ask you this. When you hear your name, right? It followed with it, watch my back. What goes through your mind?
Well, a million things. And then, like the comment, watch my back. Where's that coming from? Who is he afraid of?
Right.
What dangers are on the other side? But I think just after experience this type of communication for so long, that what they're worried about is that there's some sort of universal rule about what they can say and where that line hits. Because one of the things Cherie and I always do is push that line over and over and over to see if we can get past it. And they usually shut down, stop talking. They'll say that's enough, no more, and just quit. But that's what I think they're worried about, is giving too much information or crossing that line they're not supposed to.
Now, what'd you make about that comment about being arranged?
That I'm still trying to figure out, but the evolving part and he's human.
Yes.
Okay, so who am I speaking to?
Right.
Who's answering if they're saying he's human? Is it extraterrestrial? Is that possible? Absolutely. Is it spiritual? That's another question paranormal investigators don't have. We don't know.
It's crystal clear. Wow. All right, this is too much fun. Okay, let's go. Okay. This is the title of it, so I think I need we need some explanation before I fire this up. Can you say Rathman?
Well, of course, for me to know they're there, I always want a response before I get into asking research questions to try to develop it. So I had come up with keywords. I said, can you say, and you'll hear me say this on some of the clips, can you say Rathman, or can you say Anthony Rathman? To have them say your name, especially first and last, or even last, tells you you've got some sort of connection that's not typical, because my name's not being thrown around over any type of electronic device. So it gives me a starting point to go, okay, I've got a connection. And that's what I started out with asking.
And Rathman's not a common name. I mean, as far as I know, you're the only Rathman I've ever met.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like Smith or
No. All right, here we go.
Can you say Anthony Rathman?
Get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. Okay, I'm going to play this again. I just got to do this again. That's just too cool.
Can you say Anthony Rathman?
Okay, that's straight up crazy town.
It is.
That's straight up crazy town.
It absolutely is. I mean, like I said, when I saw Ron doing this, I said, "You have to teach. Will you please teach me this?" And he said, "Well, understand, it's not a device. It's a method, and there's a million variables that work in it. But the possibilities are just endless. I mean, we don't even know its full capability yet."
And explain to everyone the process again. This isn't a spirit box. This isn't disembodied voices. We're listening to full spectrum white noise.
Right. Coming out of a tiny little world band radio. So if I'm not going to do it, but if I flip it on, you'll just hear that static white noise sound like if your TV wasn't on. Correct.
Right.
Then that gets filtered with basically studio software. If you were going in to make a record, they've got hardware that, can lower noise, change pitch, change frequencies. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a version of that. And so you input the white noise and then you filter the white noise sound. And you'll hit this point where the white noise just drops. And then you will hear what sounds like thousands or hundreds of thousands of people all talking at once.
It's insane. It's insane. That was really cool. All right. Okay. This next one is energy of your mind.
Well, this one, I was asking some questions about how they hear me, because when I'm doing this, my voice is not transmitted. My voice doesn't go out of some sort of microphone and then transmitted into waves. So I wanted to know how they hear me when I speak, because I'm usually in a haunted location or my own home doing this. And then they answer. So I think I asked, how do you hear me when I speak? And this was the answer.
Here we go. Let's make sure I got the right one. It is this one. Here we go.
Can you say Tony? Did you just say Rathman? Yep. So you know who I am. Can I know who you are? Yes, sir. Thank you. Who am I speaking to? How many spirits are with me right now? Did it say 8? How many spirits are with me right now? A lot? Where are you at right now? How do you hear me speak? How do you hear me when I speak to you? you say they're dead? Yes. So you were once alive like me. Yes. So are you on this planet as well? All right, if I'm really speaking to people who had passed away from this planet, can you say hello, spirits? Sorry, you like being called spirits. Yep, okay.
That was remarkable. And there was a few things. I want to go back. He said, when you said, who are you? He said, I'm Chip Patton.
Yep.
Did you do any research into who this might have been?
Sure did. We had a researcher go and look to see what she could find on names. She had actually found a death certificate for a Chip Patton. I think it was like, I don't remember what, early, mid 1900s, I think it was. But with a spirit box, you never have somebody come up and literally give a first and last name. We have multiple of these where they identify themselves or the name that they had when they were here.
Wow, that was, and very insistent about them, being here, but they were spirits.
Right.
Quit calling us what we're not.
Right.
Wow, that was. I've got to take a break. I'm just blown away. I'm Chip Patton. Wow, incredible. This is Fade to Black, our guest tonight. We are doing Halloween for the rest of the month. Halloween night 1, Tony Rathman. They call him Anthony. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
The Believer is the chilling true story of Dr. John Mack, a renowned Harvard psychiatrist and Pulitzer Prize winner.
This is an outreach program from the cosmos to the consciously impaired.
He risked it all to investigate human encounters with aliens. The Believer, Alien Encounters, Hard Science, and the Passion of John Mack. Written by award-winning former New York Times journalist and author Ralph Blumenthal. Now available in paperback from High Road Books.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. Fadernauts, when you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA.
Hi, I'm Ray Sobbs, and I'm here to tell you about something I really think you're going to like. The UNX Network is a part of a larger group called UNX Media, and one of the things we offer is the quarterly UNX magazine, which is available both in print and digital formats. This amazing magazine covers all aspects of the unexplained and makes for a great coffee table periodical that is certain to spark enlightening conversations in your living rooms. We invite you to check out the latest digital issue for free. Just go to unxnetwork.com/membership and fill out your free membership with your name and email and become a new free member. The new summer issue is now available, and the theme is Time Anomalies, which includes a feature article written by our managing editor, Lee Spiegel. Just go to unxnetwork.com/memberships. That's unxnetwork.com/memberships and get your free e-copy of the UNX magazine today.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Tony Rathman is with us. He and his wife, Cherie, are Entity Voices Paranormal Investigations, and their show on the X is Monday nights, right before Fade to Black. You need to check it out. Always great stuff. And Tony, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a quick story before we get back to these EVPs. But what is your favorite piece of gear? If there's an essential piece of gear for you, what would it be?
Considering you used the word gear, my favorite is a spirit box. But as far as this new method of direct radio voice, it has definitely topped even what I absolutely loved about spirit boxes, because you don't get a single word or two. It's not mixed in with sweeping radio, because it doesn't sweep. It sits on a high frequency or low frequency world band radio with no transmission. And these voices just show up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely direct radio voice.
Pretty incredible. And I've talked with you in the past about this frigging haunted house that I've moved into. And I'm just dealing with it. We've got an agreement. I'm not scared. And that's it. I'm learning to live with it. But a few months ago, I had a dinner party over at the house. And guests are arriving, and Lisa Reed, she arrives first, and then another friend of mine arrived from out of state, Ken, and I while we're waiting for guests to arrive, I take Ken on a little tour of Palmdale, and I said, Lisa, stay here and let people in when they get here. She's like, cool. So she's in my house alone. The sun's still up. It's, I don't know, probably 4:00 in the afternoon, and so I take Ken to go see Lockheed Skunk Works. Right, we're out driving, and so we come back. It's about a half hour later, 15 minutes or a half hour. Lisa's all freaked out. There's somebody walking around upstairs. And I said, what's going on? And Ken and I are standing there. She goes, I was sitting on the couch and there's footsteps above my head. I said, that's where they happen. Really? So she got to hear it for herself. So then I take her and Ken upstairs to where directly above where she is sitting. Okay. All right. That section of the house, which is the master bathroom in my bedroom, which is, I don't know, it's probably 20 feet by 20 feet, the bathroom. Right. But it's a tile floor. The upstairs is carpeted except for the bathrooms upstairs. Right. And so this is just a big tile floor. And I hear what I hear from, because downstairs in the family room, the TV's over here, the couch is against this back wall, and above that is the master bath. And I hear, because I know the layout of the house, I hear the footsteps come from the doorway in the bathroom and kind of arch around and stop above my head, which is what Lisa heard, right? So it's not my imagination, and I hear it so often now, I just don't give a crap. I don't react to it, and I don't freak out, and I definitely don't run upstairs to see if there's anything going on. I don't want a confrontation. But so we're up there in the bathroom, and she walks across. It's the same sound, right, on the tile floor that you hear from downstairs. What is causing that? Again, it's a physical thing, right? It's footsteps. It's physical. Something is causing the sound to be created on the tile floor.
Right.
What's doing that?
Well, first of all, the first question to ask, and like I said, if you ever want to really find out, have us come out there. We'll tell you what's going on. But the first question is it residual or is it an intelligent? And I use the word haunting, but is it past energy replaying, or is it an intelligent that's actually thinking that she's showering? And I say she.
Yeah, interesting. Why
because you said the sound was similar with the person in your house walking on it when you were downstairs, but she's showering. I think you said this was at night, right?
Yeah, this was in the middle of the day when she heard it.
When she heard it.
Typically, now, I don't have a journal. I'm not writing this down, but each night after Fade to Black, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm eating dinner in the family room. And I never eat dinner at my dining room table. Don't ask me why that is. So, but anyway, and dude, there it is, man. 11 o'clock at night, and I'll hear the footsteps. And so but she heard it in the middle of the day. I'm going to say 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, I was going to say if it's at night, because women will always take a shower before they go to bed. Guys, we could be out fixing cars all day. I'm so tired, I will jump in the bed and shower in the morning. But but if she heard it at 4 p.m, then it's a little tougher to tell. But like I said, it could be a residual where the energy is replaying, which eventually, by physics, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change form, which means it would have to be recharged somehow if it was residual, or it would fade away eventually. Or if it's an intelligent haunting that's getting its energy from somewhere, then keep an eye on, is it happening at the same time every day? Or do you see variances on the weekend compared to the weekday? If you see that, then it's not residual of a one-time event. Then you've got some sort of intelligence that's keeping a schedule.
Check this comment out. This is from Star Scarred. This is why vacuum lines into the carpet is nice to have. Maybe the pile shows something.
Well, that's a great point. There's been instances where people have put down flour and then come back knowing there's no one else in the building and see bare footprints across the flour. So do they have the ability to interact on our three-dimensional plane and move things and disturb things and leave footprints and sounds? Absolutely, they do.
It's funny that comment was made because I'm just I don't want to sound ridiculous here, but I recently, because I guessed over the weekend, so I vacuumed the entire upstairs, right, all at once, right, 3 bedrooms and the loft, my bedroom, the hallway, and I like clean vacuum lines, right? I just like that look. And when I was done and I put the vacuum away, I swear on all that is holy, I said, if I see footprints, right, I'm going to lose my friggin' mind, please. and I'm saying this to myself, and I want to make sure that whoever's visiting me is hearing me very clearly. Don't freak me out. I don't need footprints in my vacuum lines. And I thought about this. And is this something that is pretty normal, right? You cleanly, because then all the pile is up, right? And then you'll have footprints found later. Man,
yeah, that's been documented over and over where they're able to manipulate circumstances. And then you've got even just the audio where, you're in a building that's been carpeted, but yet you're hearing the sound of Old West cowboy boots walking across a hardwood floor.
No, man.
Physically not possible in the state the building's in today. Right.
And I'm so setting myself up for this. I'm burning sage, by the way. It's right there. Burning sage. Lit it up during the commercial break. I'm like, man, I don't want to not only freak myself out, but I don't want to invite issues, right? But here's the other thing. I don't want to see it.
Right.
At least if I have people over and we see it together, that's a different story. But I don't want to be that person running down the street at midnight. I don't want to be that guy.
But you were upfront with them and you set boundaries. You literally said, I don't want to see footprints in my carpet marks or my vacuum lines. I don't want you to show up in front of me. And I remember you and I talking about this, about what was going on at your home. And, I said, set your boundaries. And only then will they, as long as it's not malicious in any type, they'll probably follow them if you're going to share that space. And so far, it seems like that's happening. So that's good for both sides.
I was watching Ryan Murphy's new TV series. It's called Watcher, and you've got to check it out, Tony. It's wonderful. And Ryan, we went to the same high school together. I didn't know him, well. I just knew who he was.
Right.
But he is so demented. I don't know. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I don't know how he went down this twisted path. and I went to but he writes scary stuff. So this week, when I got back from Egypt, I'm watching this new TV, freaking myself out, man, about this haunted house. And the last episode, what's her name? Her name escapes me. She's just wonderful, best in show. That's it. She's running up the street, runs out of the house. I just don't want to be that guy. I truly don't.
Understood.
Yeah, you had suggested something, and I was watching it pop up here to set up cameras in my house, right? Okay,
Right.
and you had suggested the stairway
and setting the motion detectors on.
Okay, so in my home, I have 4 motion detectors. I'm looking at one right there, right there. I could take the camera and spin it and show you one there. I've got one. Well, anyway, I don't want to let everybody know where the motion detectors are. And I've got 3 interior cameras now set up in the house. They are turned off when I'm home. The exterior cameras, right? Those are on all the time, and I'm getting those alerts. I do not, Tony, for the love of God, do not want to be in bed at midnight and have an interior motion sensor go off.
Totally understand. But and I think what I explained was, if you're not ready to see it or experience it, then keep doing what you're doing. Keep those boundaries set so they know what you don't want. And like I said, it's been 6 months or 5 months since we had that conversation, and everything seems to be working out. Believe it or not everything is demons and like Hollywood likes to portray. Even a lot of the ghost shows, everything's that's not the case. So there is intelligence, there is a level of understanding, and they know if you're not comfortable, and probably will not do something that they know is going to upset you because you're sharing that space.
Right. My mindset is I don't give a crap.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to project. I don't care. Man, I just, I turn on, when I leave the house, boom, fully armed. That's what it's there for. But no, I just don't want to have a camera go off inside the house while I'm here. No. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. It could be a fly, but I don't want, you know what I mean? I just, no,
Right.
I would literally lose my mind.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not used to it, yeah, it's terribly unsettling. And like you said, it could be a fly. It could have been, who knows what, but your mind's obviously instantly going to go to the worst case scenario. And that would be unsettling. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I have lizards outside set off my outside cameras all the time. And, so I'll get it and I'll watch and it'll be a lizard or whatever. It's stuff like that.
Right.
Come to think of it, I wouldn't want to see a lizard inside of my house tripping off cameras either. All right, let's. I did have a lizard in the house. I did in my bathroom. I don't think that's what was causing the footsteps, by the way.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No. Okay, let's go. Let's go with he can hear us.
Okay, that was actually one of the very first responses I ever captured with direct radio voice. And this let me know that I had a connection. And everything grew from this first capture. But you can go ahead and play it.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, you're connecting.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to play that again.
Yes, you're connecting.
Okay, that's incredible. But that sounds like a group.
It is. It's more than one.
Yeah.
They're talking amongst themselves, and the device allowed me to hear it. But that was the first time I ever had it dialed in correctly to be able to get responses. And I didn't even ask anything. I just heard them saying, he can hear us. Can he? And then they're like, can he see us? And I didn't even respond. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I finally made that connection. And then everything that you've heard since then was all after that first connection.
Do you think, because they said us over and over again there, is this a situation where just like we are attempting contact to see and to hear, that they're doing the exact same thing? Are we almost, do you think we're like ghosts and spirits to them?
Absolutely, that's possible. If you believe in the fact that there could be multiple dimensions within the same area plane, meaning that, you know, people from, say, the 1800s stay in their plane and live the life that they were used to, that the houses were set up, and that we're in ours, and that crossover between the two, we literally could be the ghosts to them, just as we are experiencing them on our side when those areas overlap. So absolutely, that's possible. So when they're, you know, and anybody who does EVP work, there's always two things that you hear over and over: help, get out. You know, and when I started thinking about that, I'm like, okay, am I somehow impeding on their plane? And what they're literally saying is they're freaking out because maybe they're seeing me, or maybe I'm the ghost in their world, and they're like, get out, help. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, like we would do with a ghost.
Correct. Right.
And isn't it interesting how physics, you know, and certainly in the quantum side of things, is doing everything that they can to search for extra dimensions, and with string theory and that research, 11 dimensions, right, is what they're working on right now. And there is a lot of talk about a fifth dimension and a sixth dimension, and what this represents. And if they continue with their research, this is exactly what we are finding with your research, isn't it? It's the same.
There's some huge similarities, and you know what? That's why I always give credit to paranormal researchers who, especially 20 years ago, who were doing this, because today it's a little more accepted. People understand that, hey, this is popular. People like to do this. But before it was an accepted thing, science wouldn't touch it. Today, there's beginning to be crossover. I mean, even science says that they believe that the spirit survives death, and that that energy continues on. Well, it's good to see that overlap. So absolutely, to have those connections for science to start to evaluate the things we've been saying for years and be able to say, yeah, this is possible. To me, that's fantastic.
What if you remember the movie What Dreams May Come, which I think is, you know, it's one of the great movies. And it always kind of freaked me out, and not for the reasons that you may think. I've always thought, and if you remember Robin Williams' wife, who's dead, right? She doesn't know she's dead.
Right.
And I always flip that around. What if we're the dead ones? Right? What if we are just like she was in, you know, and she didn't know,
right?
And she was just living. What if that's the case? What if the spirits think that they're the ones that are alive and we're the ones with the issues?
Well, you know how many times we've asked the question of when did you die, and the response comes back, "We're not dead."
You're
well,
right.
Of course they're not. They're answering me. They, if you know it, and that's the answer we get. We're not dead.
I've always been fascinated with that. That we, you know, we're just living our lives. You know, we think that this is where. What if it's the opposite?
Right, which is possible.
Totally possible. I mean, 100%. And it seems that the way that we are trying to search for these answers it seems that the contact is about them not knowing, right, where they are, what's going on. They're confused in the moment, and now suddenly they need help or assistance or guidance, right? And do you hear that over and over again?
I hear that all the time, but to me that doesn't make logical sense. I mean, there's not a thing on this planet that doesn't work in a circular motion. Rain forms in clouds, condenses, it rains, the water falls, it runs in the streams, rivers, evaporates back up in clouds. Everything works like that. Plants grow, drop a seed, grows a new plant. But you're telling me that a human being can pass away and just get lost? That to me is not logical. That doesn't make any sense, that you could get trapped or lost and that you would need a human to show you the way to the light. I mean,
Oh, you dropped out, Tony. Tony, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
You see? You went to the netherworld for a second. you went to the netherworld. Here, our ancestors, going back thousands of years, have talked about this exact situation, right? Going to another realm, being trapped in between realms, having your soul tested, and until you're at a certain point, they have been talking about this for thousands of years. And you are in the middle of it now with technology, experiencing what our ancestors, going back to the beginning of time, have talked about.
Right. And the other thing about those planes of reality, or whatever you want to call them, but when people go ghost hunting today, you get people from the late 1800s, late 1700s, but there's a cutoff. No one's ever communicating with a Cro-Magnon man. So are those planes literally separated, where if you lived in this time frame, you go to this new plane and they're separated from the other planes? I don't know. I mean, I don't have those answers, but it really makes your mind think about how this functions.
I mean, have we ever seen a ghost of a dinosaur?
No.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe Bigfoot is Cro-Magnon ghost.
Possible.
I'm just saying, it's possible. It's possible.
It is.
Tony's doubting me right now. Tony.
No, I'm not. It is possible.
Yeah.
Or he's multidimensional and has abilities we can't even comprehend.
Yeah. When somebody, how come we haven't seen a Neanderthal ghost? Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going there. Okay. Let's take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. We're doing Halloween for the rest of the month. Our first guest, Tony Rathman from the X Entity Voices, Paranormal Investigations. More with Tony after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
The Believer is the chilling true story of Dr. John Mack, a renowned Harvard psychiatrist and Pulitzer Prize winner.
This is an outreach program from the cosmos to the consciously impaired.
He risked it all to investigate human encounters with aliens. The Believer, Alien Encounters, Hard Science, and the Passion of John Mack. Written by award-winning former New York Times journalist and author Ralph Blumenthal. Now available in paperback from High Road Books.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Onyx Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNX-DB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony. Damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We're doing Halloween for the rest of the month, all the way to Halloween, October 31st. It will be the anniversary of the X. 1 year. Absolutely incredible. And Tony, of course, one of the hosts over at the X. It's been a pretty crazy year on the X, hasn't it?
It's been a fantastic year. I mean, the state is just acquiring talent after talent after talent. They're producing new shows, new stuff's coming out. It's a fantastic network. So anybody who has any interest in anything within the paranormal, whether it be UFO, it doesn't matter, any side, there's a show that covers it. And there's some great material on there.
Yeah, it's great, to have you as a partner, and it's just been a great year, and Race and Margie have really they run something very, very special.
They do.
So now let's go. Let's see, what do I have next? Okay, set us up for this one. They asked for your names.
Okay, this was an investigation. We took the direct radio voice method in a 1906 courthouse, and I was asking some simple questions. I think I started with, can you say Rathman? And these voices came through, and when you play it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, here we go.
Ferris, can you say Rathman? Something about names.
Potty mouth.
Yeah, and one of the scariest voices that came through when he's like, they ask your names. And, I heard names. I didn't hear it all until I went back to review it. But, just full sentences and nothing that you have to really fight over to determine what was being said. It's the audibility of it is clear, and it's just a phenomenal method. That's
How often do you have a spirit drop an F-bomb like that?
more often than you think.
Really? Okay.
You know, I think you take your free will with you. I think you take your thought processes, and you know, saying stuff like that, I think happens probably just as much on the other side as it does here, because we hear it quite often.
I wanted to ask you really quick. Okay, so you've got hold up the radio. Okay, so that is that's got an in and out on it, and that's running into the software.
Correct. So the way this works is you literally, I use 14,400 as a frequency, and I use that because here in Phoenix there is no broadcast on it whatsoever. And shortwave and long wave is used for different purposes. A lot of long wave is used to communicate bit or Morse code and stuff to submarines under the water, because it's got the ability to penetrate water at least. But so I'll tune it to that frequency. I've tested it for days knowing there's no transmission on it. That signal literally goes out of the audio output and into the computer. And then you can manipulate the frequencies, but you can use it just on the white noise. And with enough patience and practice, ask questions and have responses come through without any software at all. And Ron, who I was talking about, who taught me how to do this, did that for like a year and got responses out of the straight white noise.
So all you need for this, well, the software plugins for the audio processing,
correct,
but a laptop, an interface,
radio.
And a world band radio. Are you using an external interface like I don't know what? Do you have a computer interface, a separate that you're running?
I run it off a laptop. The only other interface is the mic input, so that you can take the signal coming out of the radio and get it into the computer. So it's a USB jack.
Right. That's what I'm. So you have a separate computer interface for the audio.
No, it's the same. It's the same interface. I just use a USB mic and audio output, so I can get the sound into the computer.
So you're using the laptop's internal sound card.
Correct.
Wow. That's a pretty simple setup. So you don't have to bring are you saying that you're going to start leaving the EVOC at home?
Honestly, probably, until I can find some other way to manipulate it to make it even better. But I cannot make a spirit box associate on the level that direct radio voice is. And like I said, Ron's got capture after capture after capture, similar, of names being said, people giving information to family members, and the system is just, I don't know the limits. I have no idea what they are, and I can't wait to see if I can find out.
So I want everybody to understand, when you're looking at the video, you can see, excuse me, you can see the plugins on the screen. You can see the levels running through. The radio is there. You're speaking just into the room, right? You're just speaking into the room. Right. Everything else is in real time. So the question and answer that you're hearing, you're not going back after the fact and looking at waves, audio files, which was the old process, right? Correct. You would have to look for a response deep in the audio file, isolate it, amplify it, clean it up, and listen for that EVP. Now, this is in real time, processed in real time, and the conversation is happening in real time.
Correct. And the manipulation of the background noise, the frequency that you're tuning into, that all happens in real time as well.
That's incredible. Yeah, I'm with you. Leave the EVOC at home. The EVOC is cool, though. And so everything else, all the other gear that you have, we're going to get back to some more stuff here in just a second. the tri-field, the all of the other stuff. Are you still taking this with you to see if there was something in the room with you?
Absolutely. We take everything from, infrared cameras to, parabolic mics to every piece of equipment we can take. Because when you can get more than one piece of equipment reacting under a particular situation, it helps validate what you're capturing. If one piece of equipment goes off, could it have been a fluke? Could it have been a bug or something affecting it? But if you get more than one, and the more you get reacting at the same time, and we've got data recorders that will track everything from humidity to pressure to, everything, temperature. When that goes off and records changes, when we're hearing a voice or getting an EVP, REM pods are going off, motion detectors are, and something shows up on a FLIR, that's when you can say, okay, this wasn't coincidence. This happened for a reason.
Do you remember when we were in the Churchill suite? We had a singer, right? And she sang. Correct. And we had, you could better describe what we had, but we had devices all around the room, right?
Right. We had REM pods. We had K2 meters. We had some sort of electromagnetic sensor that sent up a wave electricity up the V tube to see if there's any
Tesla coils. We had Tesla
Correct.
coils.
Yeah.
And so anyway, right after, so we're all sitting there in the dark, man. Craziest thing ever. So she finishes singing and we're all sitting, and all of a sudden, every single device in that room lit up like the 4th of July.
Yeah, it literally was simultaneously. It kind of went across the room, and I think even the Evox almost sounded like clapping.
Yes.
That came over the Evox, and then all the lights just went crazy. Everything was beeping and flashing, and
it was nuts because for me, a novice to the processes, to see all of to see the timing of it, right? She finishes singing, we're all sitting there, it's quiet, and all of a sudden, everything lit up at the same time. Something was in that room with us and liked what I think they thought she had a pretty good voice. And she did too, by the way. She was a great singer.
Yeah. Well, the other real interesting thing about that is if there would have been some type of interference, like a walkie-talkie, because some of the people in the room had them, but the devices rotated. It was all relatively at the same time, but not exactly. Like if, excuse me, if somebody hit their walkie-talkie button, everything at the exact same moment would have lit up. And this kind of staggered across the device.
It went around the room, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that was so much fun. That was a bucket list night, man.
Oh, it was.
There was one other thing. I don't know if you were with us. Were you with us in the lounge on the top floor?
No, I was not with you on that particular part of it. We were in the engine room.
Well, okay, this was another crazy moment. I don't know if I've told you. I thought you were with us. Anyway, so we've got the same thing, right? Another camera crew, and we're upstairs, and we're in this lounge for probably an hour. And we were doing the Estes method, right? Okay, and so we were done with that, and we were just sitting. Now, it's a lounge. Right, there's a piano over here and a bar to my right, and the camera crew, again 3 or 4 cameras, and the sound guy, they're to my right. But this side of the lounge, deep in the lounge, it was dark, and I never really looked back there because we were on one end doing this session. Okay, so I sit back in the chair. And it's quiet, and all of a sudden, this door slams. Like, and I look, and I'm like, there's a door back. And we all heard it, and I spun around, and I get up, and the cameraman follows us follows me, and I'm looking. It's a bathroom door, and I open that up, and then there's a men's and women's bathroom in there behind this door, and I pushed open, and I looked, and there's nobody in there. Now I'm kind of freaking out, and I go to the other door, the women's bath. There's nobody in there. I go in there with the camera people. Then I let the door close. I forget who was the investigator that was with us with the tats, the famous guy.
That was he's gonna kill me if I mess his name up. Patrick Doyle.
Yeah, Doyle. So he's sitting out there, and he's such a cool dude. And I open this door, and I let it, and he yells, "That's the door." That was the sound. And this was spring loaded. There's no way. Right. It can't.
Wind's not going to do it.
No. You have to push it. And just.
So that was the women's bathroom door?
Yeah, the women's bathroom door.
There's your answer. She went from the Queen Mary's bathroom. Now she's hanging out in yours.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was so much fun to go through these experiences because you see it on TV. You see it, and you're like, oh man, come on, it's a setup. It's the producers. It's somebody in the background. Somebody's got a string they're pulling. I think those thoughts we all do. Then it happens to you. That's a whole nother. I mean, that door closed by itself, and I jumped up immediately. Cameraman with me. 2 seconds after it happened, I'm in there. There's nobody in there. I didn't even know there was, because it was in the dark. I didn't even know there was a door back there. It was crazy. Loved it, man. Loved it. Okay. Next. I think this says treasure.
Okay. This one's kind of long, so you might want to skip it. If anybody wants to see it, it is on my YouTube. But this was the first time ever that I've had communication. Normally, I'm the one asking the questions. Who am I speaking to? What message do you have? In this one, they're asking me questions, and I'll answer their question, and then they wanted help, and then they asked if I could do them a favor, and they were talking about a buried treasure, and that they had done bad things, and they were trying to make it right, and it was insane. But I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes, so you may not want to play that one.
No. That right there. I'm all about buried treasure. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got.
All right.
It's Rathman. Thank you. Yes, it is. All right. What else can you say for me?
Wait. Let's stop right there. They literally said it's Rathman.
Yep.
Tony's back. He's cool, right? Right? And then they called you Rath? That's what I heard.
Yep. And then they said something like Wrath makes it easy.
Yeah, Wrath makes it easy.
Well, they sound extremely guilty, and as you play it further, I think you'll understand why. But it's like they did something bad in life, and they've probably been holding it for 100 years, 150 years, and here was an opportunity for them to let it out, explain what happened, because they say something about you're not the Wrath makes it easy, and then the next line coming up is something about, well, he's not the victim, meaning that people were probably hurt in whatever this treasure was, but it just keeps going.
This is the best one yet. Okay, let's go.
Do you like being able to speak with me through DRV? Yes, good. Do you have a message for someone? Depends. What does it depend on? Who do you have a message for? Is there someone you'd like me to deliver a message to? You have to think? Patience. Okay. I can be patient. Do you have any message for me?
They're lying to you.
So it's like they started to tell about this treasure and
Right.
what happened, and others were saying, no, stop. And then they're lying to you. And so there was conflict, okay, because there's multiple voices there. There was conflict between the group about what should be said and what shouldn't be said.
Somebody just look at this. Hold on. Let me find it right here. I just heard them say delivered and Jimmy Church. Yeah, I got pizza coming. Yeah, I would lose my mind if I heard something like that. Okay, I don't know how you deal with, hey man, it's Wrath. Okay, it's cool. It's Wrath. Here we go.
Yes, what's my message? Special. Can you tell me what the message is? I heard you say Tony. Yes, I'm listening. It's a favor? Sure. You guys have been good to me. I'll be good to you. What do you need? What can I help with? Treasure? Did you say treasure?
Okay, that's insane.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
insane. That's insane. Right there. They said treasure 3 times.
Yep.
And you said, did you say treasure? Clear as a bell. Yes, we did.
Yep. It's the most incredible system or method, I should say, I've ever experienced. And like I said, we've been dealing with spirit boxes for 12 years, but this was a 5 or 6 minute conversation.
This is crazy. Okay, let's get this in before the break.
What favor can I do for you?
What?
Yeah, again, difference of opinion on what they should be saying because that woman was like, "Shut up! Don't stop talking."
She says, "Shut the hell up."
Yep.
Okay, let's keep this going.
I can shut the hell up. Yes. But I don't want to. I like speaking to you guys.
We need tenants?
I have no idea what that means, but the thing is, he's human. That's the second time on DRV I've heard that. And again, I'm thinking, then who are you?
Okay, let's go into overtime. I've got some more EVPs, but I've got more questions that I need answers to. By the way, how's Cherie? Everything good?
She's doing great. It's October. We have things to do for Paracons, and I'll be doing multiple lectures on this. She's coming with me to all of it. And, like I said, it's October. We're in our glory.
What do you, real quick before I get to the break, do you guys decorate?
We didn't do much yet, but I'm sure if we have time, we always do. So she absolutely loves to decorate for Halloween.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do. All right, let's take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. Tony Rathman is our guest. It's Halloween for the rest of the month, all the way to October 31st. Halloween night, it will be the X 1-year anniversary special. And we're going to broadcast right here from Fade to Black. I'll be right back after this short break. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPureDeals.com.
This is Billy Carson, founder and CEO of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv is the fastest growing and one of the most watched networks in the world. And I would like to personally invite you to check out our expanding library of TV, film, lectures, and special presentations. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv has over 6,000 videos covering lost history, health, UFOs, spirituality, and our future. We are committed to our community, and with my personal invitation, you can, right now, get your own free 30-day membership at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Your own library of information starts today at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, the X.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Unex Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from Rivermoon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all Rivermoon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JamieChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I got to tell you, I've had a crazy month. Egypt. Look how tanned I am. Oh, man. Egypt. Now, to top off my crazy month, I've got Tony Rathman freaking me out tonight, live on the air. Tony, now here you've given everybody a recipe. You've given them a roadmap, right? You've given them the frequency, how to do it, world band radio, in and out, into a laptop, get yourself a couple of plugins to clean up the white noise, and you can have a real-time conversation with something.
Right.
Is this safe? I mean, are you inviting something in?
Well, yeah. I mean, you take that risk, absolutely. And do we know what we're inviting in? No, we don't. And those are the variables within the paranormal. But, you know, I've been using spirit boxes for the last 12 years. Have I had anything really, really bad happen? No. So, but is it a risk? Absolutely it is. You have to know that. You have to be prepared to deal with it. And you want to have the support of people that can help if needed.
Is this where you kind of need a disclaimer? You know, leave this to the professionals. And I'm not being cavalier here. Right?
Technically, yes. But at the same time, the more people that can replicate what's being obtained, the more credible it becomes. I mean, somebody watching this can say, well, you know, I haven't seen that happen. So do I want to give a disclaimer that says, hey, do this at your own risk? There is a risk, no doubt about it. You have to be aware of that. But the more people that can duplicate the same type of responses gives additional proof to the method, and that always helps.
I mean, I haven't been this excited of the process in a long time. This is pretty it's pretty incredible. It's pretty impressive. But then you're going to have the doofus out there. All right, man, let's talk to Zoso tonight. You know, Beelzebub.
You absolutely will. And could that cause them some severe damage? Yeah, it could. It absolutely could.
I was watching the comments, and I really appreciate this. That there's a real possibility that you may be just talking to ET.
Possibly, absolutely possible.
The humans comment, right?
Right. Well, when anyone who's had an extraterrestrial experience, one of the things that's so common is they were communicating with me, but their lips didn't move, but I could hear what they were saying.
Right.
So even extraterrestrials have some form of telepathy to be able to do that. So could they easily interact with an electronic machine that's picking up sounds within a white noise broadband? Absolutely, they could.
And in a strange way, it's very similar to the Estes method, in that you're listening to white noise there too as well, and you're hearing stuff come through. But you're also, what's the word I'm looking for? You're separated from reality, right? Because you have a face mask on, you can't see,
Right.
you're totally disconnected, and it forces you into a subconscious dream state almost.
Correct. The only difference between the Estes method and DRV is that the Estes method uses a spirit box radio, which is literally scanning radio stations. DRV does not scan anything or any AM, FM radio station. Those frequencies are not even part of this equation.
Yeah, and this is obviously it's a real time conversation.
Right.
You know, it's question and answer in real time. Very impressive.
Thank
Very
you.
impressive.
Like I said, I owe Ron Iacovetti is the one who literally taught me to do it. So he's written a couple of books on it. I think he's on his third book already about his adventure down this road. So very, very impressed and pleased he showed me how to do it.
Now, so here's the other thing. If you're going to go into whatever Waverly, right? You're going to go to one of these famous locations. You are communicating in the locale, right? Geographically at that spot. Like this last session, you said was in a courthouse.
Correct. And yes, I mean, if you're doing this at a location, but does that mean what's communicating with you is at that location? No, it actually doesn't. They are not bound by any of our dimensional time or space, and they can communicate from wherever they are. It's like us sending out an email. Doesn't matter whether you're sending it across the street or across the world. It functions in a manner where space is irrelevant to sending an email. Well, it's the same thing with communicating with a spirit. They can be communicating with you from any location.
How does this change your approach to not only an investigation, but the questions that you're asking? If you've got a recorder and you're doing an EVP, you're asking a question, hoping for a response. You can't hear it yet, right? But this is different. You are able to interact in real time. So how does it change your approach to an investigation?
Well, it changes everything because you're not looking for a 1 or 2 word answer, which technically on a spirit box you are. You can ask complicated questions and get just as complicated of an answer in return. You can shed the light of saying, okay, what year did this happen, or who was president? Getting that 1 word answer. You can ask questions like, tell me about where you are. What's your world look like? What do you know? Do you happen to know what year it is? Or, you can expand way beyond what you can expect to get from a 1 or 2 word response. And it opens up so many other doors too, that the mind literally just shatters when the thought of what could possibly be obtained.
I've done some EVP sessions, right? With I have my own digital recorders, and I've done them with others. With their, everybody's got their personal favorite, right? That they use. But you ask the question, you go silent, and then you have to play it back. And you have to hear if now I've caught it, and I've had it happen in real time, but it slows the process down.
It stops the process because by the time you hear it, you're probably not even there. And even if you play it there, the link's been broken, and you got to start all over to continue a conversation.
Right, and there's no freedom of thought. Right, the flow is gone. It's fun to do, but this is different. This is literally a conversation in real time. I mean, it's very impressive.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to let's see what we have next. Okay. Guilty or not guilty?
This was a question asked in the courthouse, and this is the response that came through DRV. I think it was either myself or Cherie. I can't remember. One of us asked, were you guilty or not guilty? And this is what came through.
Okay, let me see. I think it's this one.
You spend time in the jail? Yes. Were you guilty or not guilty?
Shut the front door.
It's like having a conversation. Now, does it stay like that? It'll maybe a couple of minutes. It depends. Sometimes the answers will keep coming. Sometimes they drop off. But I mean, talking about timing and relevance, what did I ask? Were you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Right. And, we don't say, we keep it simple. The answer was there, and he repeated it. And then somebody said, stop giving him information. But it was guilty, stop.
I'm going to play this again because I want everybody to listen. But Tony looks tired. Everybody, look at Tony's hat. Let's play this again. Tony's been sitting there for a minute.
It was late. It was late at night.
This is the real side of a paranormal investigation. Everybody look at Tony's demeanor. Here we go.
You spend time in the jail? Yes. Were you guilty or not guilty?
That's insane.
It is. It absolutely is. Like I said, this methodology of doing this has produced results that I never even thought would be possible. And so the excitement level, and I love the fact that Ron taught me. Ron's a paranormal host with me on Entity Voices, and we've actually run live shows just doing DRV. But the plans for so many other tests to see what this thing can do is just mind-blowing, and I can't wait to start going down that path.
What's next? I mean, because this opens up so many doors, right? I mean, now it's like whatever you can imagine on a ghost hunt, it appears you can do it now.
Under the right circumstances and the right connectivity, yes. Does it happen every time? No. But when it does, you'll get a response that tells you the connection's been made. And then you start asking questions. Or sometimes I know Ron will do this in front of groups, which I'm going to do my first one this weekend, or second one. But the people will ask him questions, and they get responses that are both relevant and timing to the question they asked from people that, Ron wouldn't have any idea who it is that's answering, but yet it would answer a question by someone in the audience asking that was relevant to the question that person asked.
I just thought of something. You don't need silence.
No.
You don't need a quiet room.
Nope.
You don't need all those obstacles that were in the past, right?
Right. And you don't have to worry about people. And I see it going through the chat questions all the time. People are saying, well, how do you know you're not picking up stray radio? Well, AM and FM frequencies don't transmit on 14,400. There is no radio. So, and you're getting voices from a frequency that literally could not transmit vocals. Morse code beeps and chirps, but not vocals.
Right. And again, the other, huge obstacle in all of these paranormal investigations is you ask a question and everybody's got to shut up. You can't have your audio file polluted by somebody speaking in the background,
right?
Or somebody upstairs. That is not in play here.
Nope.
You don't have to work. That's nuts, man.
It's cool stuff. I am absolutely blown away every time I use it. We have caught stuff that, and it just opens up the doors. My mind just spins with tests and other things we want to try.
Now, you just mentioned, so I'm going to circle back. I don't want this to get past us. Now you can have real-time audience participation.
Correct. Which they can ask their own question, and the direct radio voice, the responses come through just as if I asked it or Ron asked it, and they get an answer to their question. Ron's got literally clip after clip after clip where they give some answer about family members or just information that would literally be impossible to be by random chance, mathematically impossible. And it's just, it's crazy.
What are you able to define a time period in that when you're doing this, is it generally 20th century, 21st century, or have you heard stuff from the distant past, 1700s, 1600s?
There are responses that probably go from, well, we've had ones from 21st century all the way down to probably 18th century. But
wow.
But it, like I said, it always seems to drop off on that, in that range. But again, that brings back the point I was saying, that are there planes where certain groups of people are put together, and how come we've never hit one of the other planes? But yes, there are limitations within that time frame that we usually get answers from.
I take a look at the chat. Is that Ron?
That was Ron. Yep.
How you doing, Ron? Good stuff, sir. Let me read, if you haven't seen this, well, to everybody else that's not in the chat. This is Ron Iacovetti. He says, the channel is vacant, talking about the frequency.
Correct.
He says, if there was any broadcast vocal presence, you'd hear it from the jump. Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yep.
He says, I always play the vacant channel for the audience before starting so they can hear its empty white noise. Another good point. A point that Tony didn't bring up earlier. That would have clarified a lot of things, Tony, if you would have.
It's a wide range of things but it separates it so nicely from like a spirit box. And all these things work in our favor to show that this is something very paranormal.
And then Ron continues with this. He says, ITC is meant to be real-time dialogue versus EVP, record and review, which is exactly what we were just talking about.
Correct. So it takes everything you would do to an EVP to try to clarify it, to try to make it so you can hear it. We do this all in real time. So Ron even will slow it down because sometimes the spirit speaks so fast that your human ear can't catch it. It's that fast. But he's found ways to actually slow it down enough that the response can be heard. And he's got example after example where if he plays it at regular speed, you can't even understand what was said. But if he cuts the speed in half, it's clear as a bell. Every word is distinct. It's amazing.
Here's Ron's latest comment. You ready?
Well, I learned a lot of this, most of it from him, and he showed me but it's great to have him to work with because, we feed off each other. Ideas come and go between the two of us, and we're just going to keep expanding this as far as it can go. And I think the possibilities are just, we haven't even hit those limits yet.
One thing I would be fascinated in hearing, and maybe Ron can comment in the chat about this. Have you thought about bringing in somebody to ask questions in another language, French, Spanish, Chinese?
Well, we know that's probably very possible. We haven't done that test yet, but the fact that, when we were in the Philippines, Cherie and I got EVPs in English, Tagalog, Japanese, and Latin. 4 languages, 1 location. And it was because of everything that was happened. The hotel was priest and nun retreat prior to it being a hotel. They obviously spoke Latin. The Japanese was because of World War II. They used it as a military base. The English was from English or American soldiers that were there, and Tagalog's the native language of the Philippines. So could we bring somebody in speaking French and asking questions? Would we expect that we could get answers in French? Absolutely.
Ron says, yep, Tony's visits to the Philippines. Oh, hold on, man. The chat's just going by too fast. Let me pull this up. We played the Latin stuff on this show a couple of years ago.
We did.
Yeah. I remember that now. Absolutely incredible. But I would, if this, to test this further, bring somebody on to ask some questions in French. And if you get a French response, right?
Right.
How incredible would that be?
Absolutely. And I think it's very possible. But the other tests are, for like scientists to say, well, that can't be happening. Well, you know what? Let's run it for you because this isn't a hoax. This actually happens and it's repeatable.
No Latin, though. You don't want to mess with that. You don't want to mess with it. You don't want to get out.
True. Very true.
You don't want to be thrown down some stairs like The Exorcist. Tony, what an incredible night. And you and Cherie, I want you guys to have the most amazing Halloween. What's up next for you on Entity Voices this Monday?
We are doing our own show of our own evidence. Some of it will include DRV captures. Ron's got some really good stuff we have not released yet, which he's going to play. I will be doing a DRV session out in the Superstition Mountains on Saturday night, and I'm sure I'm going to get some great stuff. Those clips will show up on the show, and Chris and Audra are bringing stuff as well. So if you like evidence, Monday night will be a good one to watch.
You guys are the very best. Have a great Halloween. Give my best to Cherie. And, Ron just came back in. Bocce told his communicators he had English-speaking friends present, and the DRV vocals turned from Italian to English. Man, that's crazy town. We got to do some French. Got to do some French and some Spanish. Man, Russian.
I agree.
Great Chinese. Oh, man. Tony, you're the best. Have a great Halloween. Thank you so much, my friend. Beautiful, perfect show.
Thanks.
Number 1700 with
Awesome.
Tony Rathman.
Awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, my brother. Have a great night. And we have got, so tomorrow night, Mike Ricksecker is back with us. And I want to remind everybody, Thursday night's going to be another Fader night, but we are doing Halloween for the rest of the month. And this is all going to lead up to the 1-year anniversary of the X. And that is going to be on Halloween night. We are going to broadcast the entire anniversary show from Fade to Black, we've got special guests. Of course, we've got Race Hobbs is going to be with us. We're going to do some paranormal investigating. Margie K is going to be with us, and it's all going to originate right here from the bunker. With that, thank you, everybody. I have been gone for 2 weeks. I have not, in the last 10 years, taken any time off. And it was great for me to, take a 2-week break, but to know that you were here waiting for me when I came back. Thank you so much. This has been another great show, and just thank you. Tomorrow night, Mike Ricksecker is with us. Thursday night is another Fader night with open lines all night long. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2022 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Until tomorrow night with Mike Ricksecker, I want everybody to be safe. Go Beckley Tappy.